Hey you guys, Trey here, and welcome to the final part of my series on hiring a producer. The session that I have up here, I think I may have featured this in some other videos. This is a fun song. It's kind of dance hall. The client was super happy with the way it turned out. Most of the production had already been done. It just wasn't really mixed, and the client wanted me to do all the vocal work and to add a drop and things like that. So I want to talk about the kind of elements that come after I get a vocal done and get a production kind of laid out. And this song has some elements that I want to show. So let me play it for you and talk about what I did.
Move. You know the name, right?
All right, so let me just get into the chorus. I'll show you the drop, and then I'll talk about this. Here comes the drop. All right, so cool. There's a lot of great vocals in this. I really love this part. Love that. He's also got a great rap in this. Really fun song. When I got this, the track had some cool parts, but it wasn't really sitting in a nice way. I went through and I really did the same thing on the vocals that I do for all of them. I go through and I tune and tweak. I didn't have to do any comping, but I probably aligned some parts there in the chorus. Then I started on the mix. In this case, let me just really focus for a minute on the drop. There was no drop in the song. The client asked for one, so I created this thing. So what I was really trying to do here is create something fun. Obviously, I've got a chopped vocal that I took out of Fidel's vocal, but I also bring back the talk about it. That's the main line. That's the hook, the title. So I wanted to come back and focus on that. It's really important because if you listen to the chorus, see how many times you actually get the title. One. All right, so you basically get the title at the intro of the chorus, and that's it. As far as trying to get a song on the radio, you need to clearly lay out what your title is, what your hook is, so that the listener can get it and sing along. So I tried to focus on that with the drop. So I do it in a chop fashion, but you got the talk about it thing there. Sits nicely there. A couple of things that are happening there. I bring the energy up because the chorus is kind of just cool, laid back, right? So I brought some energy to the drop. I like to use the actual singer's vocals, so all that kind of stuff has to happen after I get the vocals. And creating a vocal chop and a drop like that can take anywhere from a couple hours to maybe half a day. So for this last example, the artist, she had been in town for about a week working on various songs. So when she came in to track this, her voice was kind of worn out. She was on her last leg. So I really had to take a lesser amount of parts and really build a full vocal out of this thing. I got a lot of great parts out of her, but there were some rough moments. Let me play it for you, then I'll show you some of the things that I did to really help fill in the gaps, really create some energy where there was none.
up and down. Childhood friends, where are they now? Where are they now? Scattered all around. Oh, bits and pieces get lost and found. Get lost and found. La 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 la. We gotta keep us together. La 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 la. Promise to love one another. Cash in my pocket, don't know where I got it, but I'ma be spending it. Get lost in the moment, nobody can own us, 'cause that's what living is.
Okay, I'm going to stop there. So the first thing I did was I was looking at the verse and I realized there was a huge gap between the two verse sections that really needed something.
The sun goes up and down. Childhood friends, where are they now? Where are they now?
I first added the guitar part.
Now.
I'm using some reverse verbs on that guitar, really trying to create something ethereal with it. Then I brought in a chopped vocal. Again, reversed verbs that I was using there to create a sort of certain spacious feel. But it wasn't quite enough, so I brought in on top of that. So I bring that Where Are They Now? So those are some examples of how after all the work you've done on the track, you've got to come back and make this a full song, make it catchy. All right, let's look at the chorus.
Cash in my pocket, don't know where I got it, but I'ma be spending it. Get lost in the moment, nobody can own us, 'cause that's what living is.
Now, on this next section where she sings this sort of non-lyric melodical part, there's a synth supporting that. This is how you find every way you can to make the vocals sit right, to give every line the proper support. In the end, I want to have exceeded the expectations of the client. I want them to be able to feel like I filled their vision, and yet I brought something creatively that was its own artistic enhancement to their song. The process isn't simple, but it is worth it. All right, you guys, so I hope that my little series here was valuable to you in some way. I hope that I presented it in an enjoyable way. Please like and subscribe. Please hit that notification bell so that you will be able to know when I put out more videos. And so there you go. Till next time.